Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will solve the exercise portion of Unit 5, which is giving advice and warnings. So let's begin. Now we will be reading a letter that an aunt has written to her nephew to avoid distraction. So this is a letter to Kun-san, April 7, 2017. Dear Kun-san, thank you very much for your letter which I received this morning. Surely it makes an old aunt very happy to know that her nephew is willing to find a job in the biggest metropolitan city of Nepal. To my surprise, you are thinking of leaving high school and home too. You must not do it. Kun, I know that you are one of the brightest and the most intelligent members of our family. Honestly, your parents have brought you up to think for yourself. They have never compromised for your study and needs. I really must say something. What you are thinking of doing could make you and everyone else in the family very unhappy. You must think of them and their unconditional love. I think schooling is not boring and monotonous. You may find metropolitan city appealing and attractive. You might be seeing the grass greener on the other side of the fence. But remember, you are not living a useless life here. Many people dream to live your life. Dear Kun, everyone needs to be ambitious, but overambition may ruin your life. I agree with you, but obviously, if you want to do anything with the rest of your life, you should not ignore your parents' support and education. Without their help, you can neither live a peaceful life nor get a better job. Don't you think you're making this decision in a hurry? Undoubtedly, you must think before it's too late. If I were you, I would complete my studies first. Have you ever thought about your parents? Of course, they won't be happy hearing this, at least from you. What about giving a second thought to your daydream? How long do you think you can enjoy the sophisticated city life? Teenagers like you might not have a blissful life as you are thinking now. You and me really should have a serious talk together. You are supposed to come and see me before you finally decide. If anything appealing ever happens to you, I may not forgive myself. With much love, Manisha. This is a letter that an aunt has written to her nephew who has decided to leave his place and go to a metropolitan city for a better job. And here he decides to leave his education and family, and the aunt is not really happy with this decision of her nephew. So the entire letter focuses on an advice that an aunt is giving to her nephew in order to stop him from any appealing thing, from any bad that can happen to him. So now we'll go through the exercise. The first one is vocabulary. So we need to find words from the text that give similar meaning to the following. The first one is cosmopolitan or advanced, worldly. So the synonym for this is metropolitan. So we know that Kathmandu is an advanced city. So Kathmandu is a metropolitan city. The word metropolitan in the sentence which reads, surely it makes an old aunt very happy to know that her nephew is willing to find a job in the biggest metropolitan city of Nepal. So this means an advanced city in Nepal. The next word is certainly, definitely, absolutely. Now this word again is in the same sentence that we just read. So surely is the word that's the best synonym to certainly, definitely, or absolutely. So it's surely. So next we have ecstatic, delighted, and joyful. So the synonym for this word is happy or even blissful. Next we have horrible, loathsome, or disgraceful. So we have boring. So this is not exactly the synonym of horrible, but it gives similar meaning. So horrible means it can mean boring as well. So we have this in the sentence, I think schooling is not boring and monotonous. So we can say boring means similar to this. And finally, we have enchanting, fascinating, or charming. And this means attractive. So the similar meaning for this is attractive. And with this, we've come to the end of enriching our vocabulary. Next, we shall move forward to answering the questions. Now, we have very, very simple questions, and we won't need much effort to answer them. The first question is, who has written the letter? So, the person who writes the letter always mentions his or her name at the end of the letter towards the left side. So, with a greeting, of course. So, we have, with much love, Manisha. So, and we already know that she's an old aunt of the person she's writing to. So, we can say, Manisha. So, we can say, Manisha, the aunt of Kunsang, has written the letter. Next, we have another very simple question. Whom is the letter addressed to? So the answer is, again, the letter is addressed to Kunsang, and we have this in the upper left portion of our letter. So let's write, the letter is addressed to Kunsang. Now the third question is, where does Kunsang want to go? Now the letter is all about Kunsang wanting to go to the biggest metropolitan city of Nepal, and her aunt advising him not to be there. So let's say Kunsang wants to go to the biggest metropolitan city of Nepal. Now next question is another simple question we have in our exercise. It says, why does Kunsang want to leave his village? And the answer is, Kunsang wants to leave his village in order to find a better job. So here it writes in the letter that it makes an old aunt very happy to know that her nephew is willing to find a job in the biggest metropolitan city of Nepal. So in the letter, the aunt says, without their help, you can neither live a peaceful life nor get a better job. So here, from this sentence, we know that Kunsang wants to leave his village in order to find a better job. The next question is, why does Manisha want to give her nephew a second thought? So the answer is, Manisha thinks that her nephew is making the decision of going to a metropolitan city in a hurry, and with doing so, she believes Kunsang's parents won't be happy. Also, she thinks that Kunsang will not get everything that he is thinking he will. In order to help him get a better decision, Manisha wants her nephew to give a second thought. I will summarize these points and write it down. Manisha thinks her nephew is taking decision in a hurry, making his parents unhappy. Also, she assures that Kunsang won't have a peaceful life without his parents' support. Hence, she wants her nephew to give a second thought. Now, the final question is, what suggestions did Manisha give Kunsang? Make a list. So the suggestions are not to leave high school and home, to be ambitious but not over-ambitious, not to ignore parents' support and education, and to complete studies first. These are the suggestions that Manisha gave her nephew Kunsang. And with this, we've come to the end of today's class. The homework for you. So this is the homework question for today's class. Do you think Kunsang's idea of stopping studies is a good option? Why or why not? You can write the answer in a paragraph. And if I were you, I would write, no, I don't like the idea of stopping studies to find a better job, because if you are educated, you will find a good job eventually. It might take time, but you will find it. So I would elaborate to this point and I would say, no, I don't like the idea. But it's your choice and your opinion. So you can write, yes, you like the idea of Kunsang's stopping studies, and you can elaborate on that. So write your opinion, and in between, if you find any trouble in answering the question, or you wish to share anything with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.